I like comedy. I like dark comedy. I like a lot of comedians that regularly use dark comedy in their routines. Daniel Tosh, Jimmy Carr, Anthony Jeselnik, all three of which use a lot of dark humor, if not a majority dark humor in their comedy. So when I was recommended a channel on TikTok by the name of NickFosterJokes because he had dark comedy, I was excited. The thing is that the three that I named previously are comedians, and therefore they have charm, they have comedic timing, they have intelligence, they have nuance to their acts, they have setup and payoff. Nick has none of that, but he does have hate, idiocy, bigotry, and just, in general, he doesn't seem like a very nice guy. And the thing that really gets me and irks me about this is the fact that nobody really seems to be talking about how bad this fucking dude is. At least not off of TikTok. On TikTok, people are all over it. I mean, his original account got banned, and now most of his current content is complaining that he got banned.
I was just kidding! Come on! You guys know I was just kidding, right?
But I give it about 2 to 3 days before he slowly reverts back to his old content. The good stuff, the jokes that he founded his account on. And I just wanted to kind of make this video before he got around to that, I just bear with me. Now, due to the nature of a TikTok ban, we don't have as much to work with as I would like. A lot of his videos are not available. However, thankfully, he uploaded a lot of them to his Twitter account as well. And especially the ones that I really wanted to talk about, so it worked out. But there's also a second disclaimer. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. I hate researching people. Whenever it comes to take down pieces or talking bad about people, I don't like doing it, even if they deserve it. And so I'm probably gonna miss a few things and skimp over a couple of smaller details. I'm really hoping all this video does is generate a little bit of attention, and somebody that's better at this kind of thing will pick it up, and they'll run with it, and then we can go from there,
We're sick of these men controlling us all the time. They can't repopulate the earth without us, so let's all band together and stop having babies. That'll show them. All right, guys. We didn't want it to come to this, but we need to repopulate the earth. So let's tie these ladies down and get started.
Woo! Starting strong. Okay. These videos were the ones that were recommended to me originally. These were the ones that put Nick on my radar to begin with. Mostly because after they were recommended to me, I just was like, okay, those are bad. I'm not gonna engage in this. And then other creators started to talk about them. Other creators started to duet and just be like, yo, this is not alright. And then more of what Nick truly is starts to come out. A lot of these other creators are seen in a kind of a negative light. The ones that go against Nick as being social justice warriors, such as Joe Robe, who kind of is a white knight, but he has good intentions. You just can't overlook constant rape jokes, sexual assault jokes, mocking victims of assault because it's funny.
It's real funny.
Because, yeah, the other comedians I mentioned before, they tell rape jokes. They tell jokes about assault and sexual abuse, but it's only a small portion of their acts usually. It's only, 5-10% of what they say, what they do, and even still, once again, they have charm and nuance, and there's something about them that's electrifying and interesting. But then you have this, because Nick has no comedic timing, he has no charm. And then, at the end of everything, when people are calling him out on it, he decides not only to be like, okay, yeah, I was joking about rape, but then he goes,
but I might actually rape someone.
It's a joke.
And it's not like this was a small portion of his content either. This wasn't like a video a month where he was just like, oh, here's a rape joke, spice it up a little bit. This was probably 20 to 30% of his main channel, and it's concerning whenever it's that high of a percentage. It's concerning whenever it's a lower percentage than that, but whenever it's that egregious, red flags. Especially when another probably 10 to 15% was defending said jokes from the thousands of people that were telling him that he was wrong and shitty for making these exact jokes. All the while, he is continuously attacking people who have trauma related to these jokes, telling them that their concerns are not valid, that they are not valid, while he's a grown-ass man attacking these teenagers for having this trauma. And then he gets all up in his britches because people are telling him not to do it. But then he doubles down and just says he's gonna... He doesn't say he's gonna rape anybody. He only implies it heavily twice a day. Normal adult things. And then comes probably the worst, like, hypothetical scenario that he concocted in his own brain to defend one of his jokes. And I just wanna play it in its entirety so you can get the gist of what I'm talking about here.
Okay, ladies, let's try this again. We're tired of these men making insensitive jokes. They can't repopulate the earth without us. So let's all band together and stop making babies so the entire human race goes extinct. Okay, guys, the women don't like jokes, and they want us all to die. So we have no other choice but to respect their wishes. It'll start slow, with the oldest amongst us dying first. But as the population begins to age up, civilization will begin to break down, sending hundreds of millions of people into poverty and despair. You'll be lucky if you die first. But as you witness all of human civilization evaporate into nothing and everyone who's left suffer needlessly solely because of the spite of women who can't take jokes, just remember that everyone has agreed to be on their best behavior, because that's definitely how it would go down in this completely unrealistic hypothetical situation. There's dark days ahead, boys, but just remember, no matter how dark it gets, at least you'll never have to hear another joke that hurts your feelings.
It's very exhausting, but this is only part 1 of 5, so let's just move on.
As make a video responding to George Floyd's death and the Black Lives Matter reaction. Well, Richard, George Floyd's death was an absolute tragedy, and he deserves justice. And there's no better way to give him justice than setting my own house on fire and stealing my TV.
Now, this is the part where I point out that he's a racist, homophobic, bigoted prick in more ways than just misogyny. I burped a little bit there. So let's just check off the boxes, shall we? An avid Trump supporter.
Little Lee Ninja asks, are you still voting for Trump even though he's the reason this is all happening? Well, Little Lee Ninja, I'm a small business owner, so I'm not that thrilled to vote for Democrats after they shut down the economy for 3 months, villainized businesses for trying to reopen, and then celebrated when looters and rioters burned down businesses all across the country. And even though Trump has been working for months to reopen the economy, making all of our lives better, and actually condemned the looters and rioters, he has said some insensitive things on Twitter. Tough choice.
Blaming black people for the over-policing and systematic racism in the United States.
Black people love explaining away the higher crime rates in the black community by saying they're over-policed, while also telling white people, you wouldn't last a day in my neighborhood. Hey, quick question. Why wouldn't we last a day in your neighborhood?
And saying the N-word is funny.
N-word is funny. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. Saying the N-word is funny. You know why? Because it just pisses you guys off so much.
Not a punchline using the N-word, not the N-word in a specific context. No, just saying it in general is hilarious. This is peak comedy to Nick. He's a savant when it comes to finding things that nobody else could ever think of. And, you know, pull the little nuggets of comedy out of them. But whenever I really thought about it, I realized that Nick's never said it on any of his social medias before. Have you, Nick? You've never once let your words match your intent. You've never said the N-word, so why don't you do it, Nick? You just got no balls? What is it? Or do you know that it's not funny? You know that if you do it, you'll actually probably see some real-life repercussions. Or is it that you just know it's wrong? You know it's racist. You know it's not funny, and you won't do it. Despite talking all big and bad and acting like a dick. Which, you know, I commend you for at least not saying it publicly. Though I know you say it privately. We all know you say it privately. Then we have the transphobia. and the general LGBTQIA plus phobia. We get it, Nick. You're a bigot. You don't understand that there are people that are different than you, and different than your very, 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 very white circle of friends and family, and you don't understand how the process of transitioning works. You don't understand that being mentally well is more important than fitting in to your own personal perception of how somebody should look and act and be. So instead of taking the time to research and understand, you just sit on your rock and you make fun of people, and you poke at them, and you irritate people, and then whenever they finally do lash back at you, you decide that they're sensitive, right? That's the goal. That's just how you do. That's funny. That's comedy. But Nick, I just want you to know something. From me to you, from heart to heart, from boy to boy, we can all see how stupid you are. We can all see how unintelligent, uneducated, and bigoted that you are truly, truly in your heart. You really don't have to keep spelling it out for us, Nick. I promise you, we can read you like the barely legible book you are. And honestly, I fear for the day that you have a child. If you already have a child, I fear for their life. Because if they come out to you, Nick Foster, they come out to you as a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, you're not going to accept them. You're going to drive them away or to a much darker place. But this isn't even touching on his extensive history of fat phobia. And I get it. Obesity is a problem, but there's a difference between worried about somebody's health and making fun of them for being fat. There's the non-rape misogyny that's just scattered throughout everything he does. I don't understand how he has a girlfriend with that, and I really think she might need some help, but, you know, here we are. But honestly, let's just move on. But it's just a joke, right? That's your excuse. That's what you fall back to. That's what you go to on everything. Any criticism, any concern, anything that you've ever said that has bothered another human being is a joke.
Of a guy saying that women are ugly without makeup.
Oh my god! You saw a guy make a joke on TikTok!
Oh, these insert group name here just can't seem to take a joke. Oh, these women are pressed that I said that I was going to rape them. How dare they? And it really gets to a point where I start to be concerned for your mental health. Because I understand defending your art, if you can call this dog shit art, but I can understand defending the content you put out. And you're always going to get haters. I get that. You're always going to get haters. But then when thousands of people every day, when the top comments on all of your old videos were hate and were telling you to please stop because they're problematic and concerning, and you hit back with, no, I'm gonna keep doing it, you need to realize that you're wrong. You're just wrong. When the popular opinion says you're wrong, you're wrong. It's not cool. It's not hip. It's not counterculture. Counterculture stands for something. The only thing you stand for is being an asshole. And I do get it. I do. You have a lot of people in your corner telling you that you're funny, telling you that you're intelligent, that you're cool, that you're witty, that they look up to you. But these are what? Mostly 12-year-old people, 12-year-old individuals, 12-year-old children who probably follow you and also think people like Roma Army are balanced, sane individuals. And that's another video I can make. But honestly, I really hope one day in the future you can look back and you can understand that even if you thought it was a joke, which it's not funny, so it's not a joke, but even if you thought it was a joke and you defended it because it was a joke, you can at least recognize that you're still a horrible fucking human being. Now, obviously, I've already kind of ragged on his general lack of comedic timing and generally being unfunny, unintelligent, blah 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 blah. We get it. But I just want to touch on his material that isn't related to rape or sexual assault or anything like that. So let's just take a second, because somehow it's worse.
5 things that should never go on pizza. Number 1, dead leaves. Number 2, spiders. Number 3, rusty nails. Number 4, literal poop. And number 5, pineapple.
What does that mean, Nick? What does that mean? What does that even mean? Now, I didn't know about this side of Nick before I started this video. I only knew about the really popular stuff, the really well-known stuff. This side kind of actually puts that side into perspective, because he's unfunny, period. That's the end of it. But he gets attention. He gets attention with the bad ones. People tell him that he needs to stop joking, but then he gets that one person that thinks it's funny. He gets that one person who tells him it's funny. And he got the attention he looked for. So then he keeps doubling down. He keeps just saying the same shit over and over. I'm gonna rape somebody. They're gonna get raped. Ooh, look at all this rape. Look at all these stupid black people. All of this, you start saying these things over and over and over, because slowly you start to get a small trickle of people that agree with you and think you're funny. But you didn't even get that before. You didn't get the smallest smidge of recognition for your terrible, terrible content before. Honestly, it's just kind of sad, because I understand wanting to be a comedian. Whenever I was younger, I wanted to be a comedian. But at some point, you have to realize that it's not for you. I have anxiety, I have stage fright, I don't perform well in front of a crowd. Even this is a little concerning to me. So I gave up on the comedian thing. I gave up on it because I knew it wasn't for me. You haven't given up, and I applaud you for not giving up on your unfunny dreams and instead doubling down on the worst parts of it. I don't usually like bringing up the past whenever it comes to people on the internet. You say shitty things when you're young. You say dumb things in the past because it was acceptable to say these things back then, and people getting canceled for things they said 10 years ago doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But while I was doing research for this video, I still kind of hoped that this was a character you were playing. That NickFosterJokes did not reflect on the real Nick Foster, that this was not who you truly were. I was hoping you were just a very dedicated character actor. I was hoping there was no way that you were this shitty and stupid. But then, scrolling through your Twitter, it kept going. And kept going. And kept going. Made it all the way down to 2010. That's when you started your Twitter account, I imagine. And it started out exactly the same as where we are now. I lost the little bit of hope I had for you, because there's absolutely no way that this is an act at this point, Like, I still thought, but now it's pretty clear that you're just not funny and that you're angry. And don't get me wrong, there's a couple of decent ones whenever you scroll far enough down your Twitter feed. There are. But let me say this. If anyone is trying to do something for 10 years straight, they're gonna end up hearing something that they can then steal from somebody else and post on Twitter. I don't really have an outro. I don't really have a set either. I just really wanted to do this because I'm angry. I'm an angry little man. I don't like doing these kinds of videos because it's just mentally exhausting and mentally draining, but it needs more attention on his end. Also, on an unrelated note, doesn't he kind of look like the dad from the one family, the one game? Like, I don't remember who they were, but they got fucking taken down for abusing their children. Shitty people. I guess shitty people just look similar. But if you made it this far, thank you, first off. And second off, like it, subscribe, comment, do whatever you need to. Share it with people. I hope Nick sees this. I hope you see it, Nick. I'm gonna tag you in all of your social medias.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Well, guys, it's been well over 2 weeks now since I posted that video on the beach, not social distancing, and I still don't have coronavirus. My girlfriend doesn't have coronavirus, and none of the people I met on the beach that day have coronavirus. So before you come into my comments again to lecture me about how I could be asymptomatic and I'm part of the problem, there's a lot of people posting videos at their local protests that you should probably go give the same energy to.